Welcome. This Steps to Employment will be focusing on your resume and the role it plays in your job search. This video will talk about why you need a resume, especially when you may also be filling out an application online. It will introduce you to applicant tracking systems, help you make your resume all it can be, and point you towards some helpful online resources. Lastly, we'll touch on what it takes for a great cover letter and set of references. The resume's main job is to market you to potential employers, but it's also used to help employers identify qualified candidates for the skills they need for their job and their company. It isn't always fun, but it is a true fact of online job seeking. You do have to customize your resume for each job you apply for. Why? Because applicant tracking systems, which we'll talk about shortly, are designed to seek out keywords matching a company's job posting to your experience. It may take a little more time, but it's worth making sure you get looked at for the jobs you are most interested in. So why have a resume when you just have to fill out an application anyway? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Think about it this way. The application is the information the company needs to know about you. The resume is the information you want the company to know about you. Also, when you sign the application or acknowledge online that your information is accurate, you're attesting to the truth of any information requested on the application. Job seekers can be denied employment or even fired in the future if they're not truthful about their employment record on both their application and their resume. Applicant tracking systems, also known as ATS, are those bots. Yes, robots are definitely reading your resume that help hiring managers streamline their decision-making. For better or worse, ATS have changed how we apply for jobs. That means it's important to make them work for us. Your job application has to pass through many levels before you land a job interview. The first gatekeeper is an ATS, which automates recruitment tracking by handling job applications and resume data electronically. Now, an ATS can be your best friend or your worst enemy. The good is that it can get you hired faster. If there are hundreds of applications for a job and an ATS is the first stop, you have a much better chance of hearing back quickly if you're being considered. The bad, it is keyword sensitive. An ATS definitely streamlines the process for a hiring manager, but if you're a job seeker who doesn't use keywords well, your application could be rejected even if you're qualified for the job. The ugly is that it doesn't allow your personality to shine through. An ATS only scans to see if you're a match for the job. I mean, it's a robot, so it's not looking for indications that you have a great sense of humor or would be a match for the company's culture. Make those keywords work for you so that you, the real you, can get that interview and show the hiring team how fabulous your personality truly is. To make sure your resume works hard for you, keep the ATS in mind as you prepare. It's ideal to keep your content simple and easy for an ATS to read and scan. Don't forget to update all of your information and make sure you spell out any acronyms so you're covered even if the system is looking for the spelled out word or the acronym. Remember, robots aren't as intuitive as we are, so we have to help them out. It's also key to match your abbreviations to the ones used in the job posting. Those are the words the ATS will be looking to find. Keeping it simple, like using common section titles, also makes it easier for an ATS to know how to scan your information. And a summary statement is a great way to show off some of those keywords we keep mentioning. Did I mention keywords are important? Because keywords are very important when it comes to job searching. Make sure they're included in your resume and that they show off your skills and things that you have actually done. Highlighting your job qualifications and also what you've accomplished and using those all-important keywords in context will help get you past that ATS to impress the hiring manager. Can't believe we're still talking about keywords? Believe it, that's how important they are, and your resume is a perfect place to get them working for you. Take the time to match your resume and application to the exact words and phrases used in the job posting where it matches your skills. Your resume should really show why you're a great match for this job and this company. Be as specific as possible and use the keywords in the job description to highlight your skills. Don't just dump them in your resume without connecting them to what you actually do and what you actually know. Lastly, and I've seen this kill a job seeker's chances many times, take the time to proofread. Spelling errors can trip you up both with the ATS and with the hiring manager. So take that extra time to make sure you don't have any errors before you hit submit. ONET is a great free resource that can help identify the skills and abilities for a particular position. It'll also give you insights on industries and career clusters. It will even show you a bright outlook, revealing jobs that are in high demand right now. Check it out at onetonline.org. Now, I know we all want our personality to shine through when we're job searching, but those ATS are awfully picky when it comes to resumes. Simple is the way to go. The resume on the left may not be as exciting to the eye as the one on the right, but that one, the one on the left, is the one an ATS can read and understand. Remember, that ATS is the first gatekeeper to landing your ideal job. If you want to have a creative version of your resume, that's fantastic. Have one ready and in hand when you go for that in-person interview. Keeping it simple means simple formatting, simple fonts, and avoiding anything that might seem like clutter to an ATS. Reverse chronological order will also make it easy for the ATS to understand and translate your work experience. Have I mentioned that ATS like it when you keep it simple? They really do. Using a skill summary will allow you to share good keyword matches with the job posting. And then you want to make sure you write words and numbers out so it'll help the ATS understand your content. Using simple bullet points really keeps your information orderly as the ATS reads it. Remember to use simple bullet points when you do that, though. All right, resume length. It is a matter of some debate. Some hiring managers want to see every single position you've ever held. Some are only interested in the last 10 or maybe 20 years. Ideally, your resume should be long enough to cover all the information you need to share, but as short as possible so that you don't lose the attention of the hiring manager once they get your resume. Your level of experience also matters. If you're new to the job market, you're transitioning into a totally new field, or you have a lot of experience with only one company, a one-page resume is perfect for you. If you have 10 or more years of related experience or a lot of accomplishments you want to share, 2 pages is a good choice. This is actually the most common length for professional resumes. If you're a senior executive, an academic, a scientist, or you're in a technical field, you're going to need to share some extra information, and that means you'll need 3 or sometimes more pages for your resume. If you find your resume getting bogged down or it seems too long, it's also okay to do a previous professional experience section that only lists the title and the company. You may even want to leave out the dates. You can also state additional employment history upon request. If you do have the opportunity to ask the hiring manager what they prefer, that's the best thing to do. A few other things to keep in mind are that sometimes an organization will look for something outside just your employment experience, like have you worked for a brand competitor or what schools did you go to? Online applications also often have optional fields. Sometimes resume or cover letter is actually one of those fields. Make sure you don't leave any fields empty. An ATS or hiring manager can actually use those empty fields as a way to filter out applicants, so fill them all in. Also, if you know someone who works at the company, ask them if they have an internal referral system. Having someone directly refer you can get you through an ATS much faster. The robots are getting smarter. An ATS will often scan your social media presence, so check yours before you start job seeking and make sure you'd be happy for an employer to see it. Many employers do review your social media, so don't forget this step. Also, make sure you name your resume something related to you. Using your last name, first name, and the job title you're applying for is an easy approach. This doesn't just help you attach the right resume, but it also makes sure the hiring manager can easily find and share your resume when preparing to invite you for an interview. Not all companies use the same ATS, so make sure you have your resume ready to go in various formats, including Word, a PDF version, and even a simple text format that you can copy and paste directly into an online system. If you don't have a resume ready to go, there's a website called Rescue My Resumes. There's an S on the end of that, so that's rescuemyresumes.com. It has a collection of good online templates. They're all quite simple, tips for content, and then there are other features to optimize your resume. There's no need for you to start from scratch. Many job seekers miss out on the opportunity for a cover letter. Not only can a cover letter be used to highlight your experience and to use more of those all-important keywords. But a cover letter can also help a potential employer understand a gap in employment, a change of field, or see why you're a fit for a job that may not exactly align to your experience. Since a cover letter should only be 1 page long, make sure you tailor it to the job and what you're trying to share. Just highlight like 3 to 5 key points and, as always, take the time to proofread. Lastly, make sure you have both professional and personal references ready to go, and make sure you've let them know ahead of time that you're going to be giving out their name and contact information. You don't want a reference to be surprised to hear from someone who wants to hire you. Your references do not need to go directly on your resume. Sometimes an employer will request that, but more likely you're going to use them in the online application process. So to wrap up, resumes are key to a successful job search, even if you're also filling out an application, and they can do work showing off what makes you the best candidate for the job. Remember to keep keywords in mind so you get past the ATS, check for errors, and include a cover letter to highlight important information that you can't get into the resume or application. You can do this. Applying for jobs, especially online, can be challenging in the best of times. Taking a little extra time at the start to prepare will make the process easier for you. It'll make it faster to do and help get you past those ATS to a hiring manager, interview, and hopefully the job you've been looking for. Thank you, and please check out our other Steps to Employment videos.